this room have aspirations to play at another level. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to come in and demand that from the guy next to you. If we take something from this, if we learn from this, if we come in with motivation, was we can do something special this year. That's what they mean. Feel it for the right reasons. Don't let it consume you in a negative way. Learn from it and we go. Yeah? Let's go.
Floats it in. Gio, there it is! They are the kings of the North!
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude, made in Canada for all the world to see. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
Settle in, pour yourself something nice, and enjoy. This is the center of the footballing universe for the next 90 minutes plus. Nelson's there as well. Jaden Nelson slips it in. Sammy, the loose ball. Sebastian Berhalter!
From Vancouver, welcome to Miami for the second leg of Concacaf Champions Cup between the Vancouver Whitecaps and Inter Miami FC. The Canadian side set a club MLS attendance record in leg one of just over 54,000 en route to victory. And tonight, another packed house inside Chase Stadium. Who will advance to their first ever Champions Cup final? We'll find out right here on One Soccer. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside our One Soccer studio. You are watching Concacaf Champions Cup semi-final. Andy Petrillo, Gareth Wheeler, Jordan Wilson with you. How are we feeling tonight? We feeling pretty good?
Great. Feeling amazing. There's been a lot of conversation about Lionel Messi in the build-up to this game. I just feel like it's all white noise because this is time for Brian and the Whitecaps to stand up. The Canadian kids taking on the Catalonian crew. Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. Well, yeah.
You know I'm superstitious. I just don't like that Jesper Sørensen didn't have that turtleneck on.
The white turtleneck
He's
sweater.
been wearing that, like the little tweed, whatever.
Maybe sideline. Maybe sideline. He'll bring it back for when the game starts. Well, it all started in early February with 22 teams. Now we're down to the final four. There were also 3 Canadian teams in the tournament. One still thriving, not just alive, thriving. So let's draw our attention to the semifinal matchups. 2 MLS sides, Vancouver Whitecaps taking leg one at home, 2-0 over Miami. The other semifinal sees 2 Liga MX teams. Tigres hosted Cruz Azul leg one, and that was played to a 1-1 tie. Let's check in with Christian Jack now, who is inside Chase Stadium. Welcome to the show, my friend. You know, we've argued on this very broadcast that in the last decade, this is the biggest game for Vancouver. Do they feel that way? What is their mindset?
Yeah, great to be with you on an historic night again in Canadian soccer here down in South Florida. Look, it is unquestionably the biggest night for Major League Soccer Whitecaps in their era, in the modern day era, no doubt about it. But you ask a great question, Andy. Do they feel it? You know, they arrived here in Fort Lauderdale late on Sunday night after what was another victory, another win in Major League Soccer, this time in Minnesota, where they made 8 changes and won comfortably again in the second half. And speaking to the players here, I don't feel like that they feel the pressure. Sebastian Berhalter told me last night this whole run has been fun. Ali Ahmed, the Canadian international, said that he has to enjoy these moments in order to embrace them. And you mentioned the coach there, Jesper Sørensen. He said that they feel in good mood and a good part on their travels because of what has happened to them so far. Remember this, they went into Mexico not once, but twice already in this run and got the result that they wanted. He said they feel just as comfortable away as they do at home.
They've been in Miami for a few days too, right? Heading there just after their league game against Minnesota. Now, with the away goals rule in effect here, Vancouver up 2-0, as we know, KJ, but do you expect them to be aggressive early on to get another goal?
100%. You know, for those who follow European leagues, you have to know that this is now a league tournament that still has the away goal rule in it. Javier Mascherano told me last week, the Miami boss, we are here to score an away goal. And that's what Jesper Sørensen told me last night. He said, yes, my players already know we're up 2-0. We can't kid them. But our collective mentality has to be that we need to find a goal. And remember this, if they get 1, Miami need 4. I just don't feel like it's in their system to be able to sit back and absorb pressure for the entire 90 minutes. They want to play on the ball. Ranko Veselinovic said as a defender, he expects to be under a lot of pressure tonight, a little bit more than he did last week, but he still expects his team to keep the ball in crucial moments.
All right, great stuff, KJ. We'll check in with you a little later on. Let's get you now to Miami's starting 11. The 2 big names, as always, up top, Messi, Suarez, who Vancouver coach Jesper Sørensen has warned his players. He's like, these guys can make something out of nothing, so don't let them play too close to our own goal. Whitecaps, however, did a good job keeping both of them off the score sheet. Jordan, how do they do that again?
They do that by literally what they did in the first leg, which is keeping Messi away from their goal as far as you can and just tracking back and getting numbers behind the ball. I thought they were exceptional at that in the first leg in terms of every time that there was a penetrated pass, 7, 8 Whitecaps players would get behind the ball wheels. And that's how you stop Messi. You can't really stop him, but you hope to contain him, but that's the way to do it.
Well, it just can't be about Lionel Messi. Like, he needs his teammates to come aboard. And I think the big storyline of the first leg wasn't that Lionel Messi was ineffective, because largely he was. I mean, Inter Miami had their first shot towards target in the 29th minute. Their first shot on target in the 36th minute. The supporting cast was nowhere near good enough. And that starts off with his former Barcelona teammate, Luis Suarez, who lacked the requisite bite, if you would, in that first leg. He needs to be a true factor because Messi's a playmaker. When he is at his best, he is playing between the lines, he's picking the spaces, but he requires willing and able runners around him. And as long as the complementary cast, as long as they're unable to pick up some of the slack, then Messi cannot do this alone against a very well-organized Vancouver Whitecaps team.
Yeah, they definitely frustrated Messi and Suarez in that first leg. They're not used to being held off the score sheet all that often here, which is why you want to keep an eye on them. Let's take a look at the Whitecaps starting 11 right now. Just one change from leg one. You can see Savvy comes in for Rios. Sorensen said he liked the way his team played defensively in the first game. Did feel they got caught up in the moment. He actually said, you know, hey, we attended a circus and then realized we were part of the show, but he did like how they settled in after that, that's for sure. Here he is before the match.
Jesper, what were the things your team did well in that first leg last week that they need to do well again tonight?
Yeah, we need to run, and we need to run a lot. We know that it's going to be tough, so we need to put everything on the pitch. I think we did that last week, and we have to do that again.
It's the best cliche in our sport. 2-0 is the most dangerous lead. What are the mental traps you guys cannot fall into with that advantage tonight?
Yeah, but we have seen it over and over again. That's actually what you are saying is that it is mental traps, that you start too early to protect the lead instead of going, you know, we only halfway, and so many things can happen because it just tricks with your head. What we should do is to try and go out and score and believe that we can. And what we have to think about is the 2-0 lead it gives us the freedom to make some mistakes, so we don't have to play perfect, but of course we want to play the best possible game.
How would you like the beginning of the game to look tonight in your ideal world?
I would like us to get comfortable with the pitch and the ball. The pitch looks amazing, so I'm looking forward to that and being able to move the ball fast and of course, you know, get forward.
Thank you, Jesper.
Yeah, have a good game.
Hey, I appreciate that. Reporters, hosts, analysts, we got to have a good game too. Good show. Expecting perhaps a great showing from Brian White. Once again, he's third in tournament scoring with 4. Messi's actually second with 5. He got his 4th one in leg 1 against Miami. Can we expect a repeat performance here, Joe?
You better believe it. He's in his bag right now. This guy is full of confidence, and the way that he played this match and grew into it in leg 1 and throughout this tournament has been exceptional. For me, a fox in a box, but all of the work that he does off the ball, Wheels, the fact that he can pin center backs, the fact that he's running off shoulders of center backs, and also this right here, his movement in the box is sublime. This is a guy that is on fire, and you expect nothing less in the biggest game of the season.
I mean, he's ready to feast on these Inter Miami center backs who are risk takers. There's no big, dominant figure among them, and his running off the ball is so intelligent. 10 goals already this season in all competitions, and Andy, he steps up in big moments as well. 5 of those goals across all competitions have been match winners as well. And by the way, he's feeling himself right now. He was just named MLS Player of the Month. So he's in the form of his life right now, whether it's teams abroad. He signed a new contract with Vancouver Whitecaps, but now you're like, who else might want a piece of Brian White? And his role within the U.S. men's national team is growing bigger by the day.
He's a great example of someone given an opportunity and running with it, because he said, he goes, when I was first brought into Vancouver, I was the backup to Lucas Cavallini, and every time he got called up to the men's national team, I filled in for him, and now he is the main guy with Vancouver. Let's go to the opposite side of the field. Center back Ranko Veselinovic is wearing the armband, a leader for Sorensen as well. That's somebody he relies on. Just how important has he been, Wheels?
Exceptionally important. This is his 175th start for the club. Now, if you saw him year 1 when he joined the Whitecaps, it was during COVID 2020. He didn't settle very easily and didn't happen very quickly. But what I like about the Whitecaps is that they were patient with him. They believed in the player. And now in year number 6, he's the player that you can't keep out of the team. This is the 95th time that he's been paired with Tristan Blackman at center back. Those two have such a great complementary relationship. He's a leader at the back. He's in his absolute prime right now. For me, tonight, he's the most important player on the field because you need to lead from the back. You need to press high at times. You can't just sit back and defend. Him keeping that back line organized is going to be exceptionally important.
I agree with you, Wheels. And for the kids at home as well, you look at Veselinovic, you're like, oh, I can do what he does. But he reads plays before they happen. And you look at his stature, you're like, oh, he's probably a bit too slow. But the fact that he's 2 plays ahead and he can anticipate what's going on, that's why he's had success. That partnership with Blattman and Veselinovic, that's been the backbone of this team, and that's why they'll potentially be going to a final.
This game was definitely, this game was definitely circled, because when you look at their last league game against Minnesota, there were 8 changes there. I mean, you even kind of quipped a little bit, like, was that side B for them? They still walked away with the victory. Vancouver really looking good. Sorensen has always tinkered with his lineup. Just 1 change here, though, compared to leg 1. Sabi for Rios. What do you think the thinking was behind that?
The thinking behind it, well, Sabi adds a little bit more pace, a little bit more directness, especially with Inter Miami forced to come forward, move forward in attack. But I think he likes the experience of bringing in a Daniel Rios later, a more experienced player, especially against South American, Central American competition. And he's also a very good penalty taker if it ends up going the distance. So this makes a lot of sense. And this is what we've learned from Sorensen. Sometimes the starting 11s might look a little bit awkward the way that they're put out, but there's always a thought process behind it. And every single game, he's got his changes right. That's what's been so critical behind all of the Whitecaps' early season success.
And if you pay attention to that second goal, that has a lot to do with Sabi and his tenacious demeanor and the fact that he's able to run at players and create something down that right side. So I like that approach. Get that goal for Whitecaps. That is such a comfortable position. Because Miami, they could score 4, but putting that up is a tall task.
Yeah, at their presser yesterday, both White and Sorensen said, we're not going to sit and absorb pressure for 90 minutes. They do want to go out, and they do want to score. Well, when we return, we will hear from Sebastian Berhalter, a breakout star for Vancouver, whose aggressive play in the midfield has him playing the 2nd most minutes on the team across all competition. And, of course, we're going to check in on Toronto FC and CF Montreal, gentlemen, in Canadian Championship action. Stay with us here on One Soccer.
Floats it in. Gio Diaz! They are the kings of the North!
For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
This ultimate mouthwatering moment is brought to you by the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Hot Dogs, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
Hellman's Spicy. Every squeeze of rich creaminess is deliciously spicy, with a kick of real chili peppers. Mmm, irresistible. Hellman's Spicy.
Oh, wow!
This is comfier than our actual couch.
Say no more. Derek.
Oh, hey, we were just testing out your new patio set from Walmart.
And the barbecue. Add to cart, my barbecue. What a nice barbecue.
Welcome back to One Soccer. We'll be heading to Miami shortly. Isn't that just stunning? It's the second leg semifinal Concacaf Champions Cup between Vancouver Whitecaps and Inter Miami. Whitecaps taking leg one 2-0. And with 3 goals in his last 5 matches in all competitions, Sebastian Berhalter has become a key component to the Whitecaps attack. Here he is with Christian Jack talking about the chemistry in the Whitecaps locker room.
I think it's the mix of guys. You know, we've been together now 3 or 4 years, and not a lot of teams can say that, especially in MLS. There's always a lot of turnover, and there's no egos. You know, everyone just wants to win and wants to, you know, gets along, and you don't have that a lot. I mean, this is my 3rd different team, so I've kind of seen it a little bit. But yeah, it is special because guys just are so geared towards the same thing. And now Jesper's kind of pulled us together and, you know, had us going towards one direction, and everyone just hopped on board, you know, because we're already really good friends. So it's been a fun journey.
And is there something about your development as a player that's allowed you to score those goals that you've scored, like those late runs into the box, arriving late, reading the play? Like, is it fair to say that you've allowed yourself to be more of a student and watch games to allow you to get into those positions that maybe you wouldn't have a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I think speaking with Jesper and Jan, the head coach, assistant coach, I think they both wanted me to do that. And I think 5 games ago we sat down and they told me, they said, you know, you need to be making more runs in the box when the ball's higher. Like, get in the box, you know, and that's something where I took upon myself. I said, okay, I can, you know, I can do that, and I want to do that. I enjoy doing that. So that's something in the last 5 games I've really tried to improve upon, and you know, we sat down again and we've seen that it's been better. So yeah, I just want to keep going.
First round of the Canadian Championship began last night right here on One Soccer. It continues tonight. You can watch this right now on our platform. It's Toronto FC, CF Montreal. As we both know, or all of us know, it hasn't been a good year for these 2 teams in league play, but that's Theo Corbianu wheels.
Whoa, that's got some dip, it's got some swerve. From midfield, solo effort, well done, Theo.
That's a finish. Cutting in on that left foot, top cheese.
That dip.
Love it.
Has been a big game for both these clubs, right? I mean, this is basically their season. CF Montreal still looking for their first win in MLS. TFC with just 1 win. So can't champion. Oh, not so much on the celebration. He knows it. He knows it. Oh, Theo, but you got the goal. The preliminary round will continue next week. 2025 TELUS Canadian Championship. CPL teams. Look at the one at the bottom, though, guys, because we know it was 2 years ago. TSS Rovers, League One team, dispatched Valor.
One man.
Valor's going to want some revenge. Let's just say that. All right, we are working our way towards leg 2, semifinal, Concacaf Champions Cup. Vancouver fans have traveled. Pretty sure you didn't have to twist their arm to go to Miami, though, and they want a win. They want a goal, they want to win, they want to see their team for the first time go to the Concacaf Champions Cup final. Will that happen? Stay with us on One Soccer to find out.
Basketball is a very physical sport. There's so many times that I've got hit on the basketball court. Marks don't hold you back.
Movement leaves marks. You're antiperspirant shouldn't.
Degree Ultra Clear. Non-stop protection against white marks.
Here we go. Group A or Group B?
2A, 1B. Allergies? B's.
Next kid.
Hey.
Application is done. Just waiting for the submit window. Whatever happens, I love you.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling good about this.
They're in. Oh, yes.
What cable internet connection? We're not in.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to TELUS Pure Fiber, Canada's most reliable internet technology.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
Oh, wow.
This is comfier than our actual couch.
Say no more.
Derek.
Oh, hey, we were just testing out your new patio set from Walmart.
And the barbecue. Add to cart, my barbecue. What a nice barbecue.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community, This is for you with gratitude, made in Canada, for all the world to see. So go for it, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
This is Halifax, and this is the Fortress. It's unforgiving.
Chambrun put it to bed!
Forge haven't found a win here in 2 seasons. Geyser's home record against them, still spotless. A return, a rivalry, a reckoning.
Beckham, where to go?
The Canadian Premier League. Halifax Wanderers FC, Forge FC. Saturday on TSN and One Soccer.
Here's a look at the history for both these clubs in the Champions Cup tournament. Only one other time Miami has been in it, bowing out in the quarterfinals last year to Monterrey. Vancouver has reached the semifinals before, 2016-17, losing out to Tigres, both looking to make the final for the first time in club history. Let's bring KJ back. And with Vancouver being up 2-0, KJ, a lot of people would say they're heavy favorites, but we know Messi kind of changes the script a little bit here, so it gives you pause in saying that Vancouver are heavy favorites here. So what can we expect tonight?
Yeah, we can't ignore the Lionel Messi factor. You know, everywhere I look around me, there's pink tents just everywhere. You know, this is, of course, an enormous night for that club as well. And we know his record in continental competitions and how well he did for years at Barcelona. But as you alluded to, when he played in the UEFA Champions League, most of the time the away goals was there. Now it's here, and Vancouver did not let him and Miami score last week. So not only are they here with a 2-goal advantage, they are also here with that tiebreaker advantage as well. But when I spoke to some players this week, it's clear what Messi has done with Barcelona is still on their mind.
It would be naive of us to, you know, think that the game is over or it's not close or anything. You know, these are guys who, you know, have been in this situation in the highest of highest leagues and games, and you know, pulled away with, you know, a result in their favor. So, you know, I think it wouldn't be, you know, smart of us to, you know, be a little laid back or sit back and let them come to us and try and defend the whole game.
Incredible. Over the last 15 years, he's fought back from a 2-goal deficit all 5 times with Barcelona. You can see the record there. It's not a record of failure, it is a 100% record of success. So what do all those teams have in common? They all scored inside the first 15 minutes. If Vancouver can survive that today, they'll be one step closer to reaching the final. Guys?
All right, something to keep our eye on as kickoff is less than 12 minutes away. Thank you very much, KJ. Guys, this is the million-dollar question because Vancouver's up. They've been looking brilliant in this tournament. Inter Miami, we know, is no weak opponent just simply because of Messi and Suarez. But who is the pressure actually on, Wheels?
All the pressure's on Inter Miami. Because, look, the board that KJ put up tells a story about Messi when his teams are down in the first leg of 2-legged ties. Thing is, that happened a long time ago. Do you know who else was part of that team? Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez played roles in a lot of those. But all these guys are in their latter stages of their career, pushing 40. Yeah. It's a much bigger chore, and Messi's production has gone down in each and every one of those games. I'll go to some more recent reference points. You showed it on the original board. Them losing to Monterrey in the quarterfinals in 2 legs in this competition last year. Them getting knocked out by a wildcard team in the MLS Cup playoffs over 3 legs last year, where Lionel Messi scored 1 goal over the 3 games. This is a different Messi. This is a different Inter Miami side, and this Inter Miami is not Barcelona. Vancouver Whitecaps are the better team here, but all the pressure is on the big money side from Miami.
All the pressure is on Inter Miami because you could call it the experiment, but Messi coming to that team, but it only works out or only pays dividends if they win championships. That's the pressure on them. Now, when I look at this Vancouver side, it's been difficult to get to this moment. It won't feel like a gut punch if they lose. It will feel like a roundhouse kick to the teeth.
Ow.
Yeah, very dangerous, right? That's not what they want. They've done all the hard work. Now that what they need to do for 90-plus minutes is be that team that they've been this whole tournament. Resolute, defend well, and go forward and score those goals.
But the perception outside of Canada The perception outside of Vancouver is that Inter Miami should walk this.
Yeah.
Look at the MLS personnel and their ratings heading into the season, their power rankings. They thought the Whitecaps were going to be a bottom 3 or 4 team in Major League Soccer. This isn't the reality. The reality on the field is Vancouver Whitecaps completely outplayed Inter Miami in the first leg. They're a better side in Major League Soccer. It's not just the record, the data bears it as well. They have a plus 9.5 expected goal differential. Miami bang average at plus 1.7. Vancouver's the better team in practice. But outside of that, if you ask anyone else around the game, they wouldn't tell you the same.
So far, Jesper Sorensen's been getting it right. To your point, the reason why I think a lot of people even had them down at the bottom was he doesn't have MLS experience. But between the way he's been coaching, we even heard Berhalter say they've been together a long time. It's like this perfect coming together. You like it.
Need to finish the job here tonight.
They do need to finish the job.
Baby.
They won't play with any fear.
All right, here we go. Vancouver Whitecaps Inter Miami. It is leg 2, Concacaf Champions Cup semifinal. The next voices you hear will be those of Adam Jenkins and John Conway. The last Canadian team to make it to a Champions Cup final 2018 was Toronto FC. Conway, part of the coaching staff there. Vancouver would definitely like to get there as well. 90 minutes to go. Find out if they can do it.
For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Concacaf Champions Cup on One Soccer is brought to you by WestJet.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
Concacaf Champions Cup on One Soccer is brought to you by